What's up, Aquarius gang? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. My name is Annie, and we are going to read your tarot cards today. This will be a general message for, it's so funny, I almost called you Capricorn, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. I feel like I want to check. If they're dealing with a Capricorn, is something ending? Yeah, you might be healing something with a Capricorn, or I don't know, illness, or someone might be sick or have the flu, a cold, something. I don't know why that's coming through. Anyway, with a Capricorn. Completely lost my train of thought. Welcome to your general tarot message. I want you to walk away from these tarot readings feeling motivated, empowered, inspired, or at minimum, walking away with food for thought, right? It's good to ponder and think about the messages that come through. But feel free to use your own discernment. If something doesn't resonate, you can reject it for the time being. It may resonate for you in the future, so just be open to that. And of course, you are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. Let's tap into that Aquarius energy. What's coming through? That was, thing with the Capricorn was weird. I just kind of went with it. So hopefully that speaks to some of you. The Ten of Cups. What? This is like my happy family card. This is, I don't know, maybe you guys are doing like a family party or a family celebration if there are any fall birthdays in your life. We have some Mercury energy here, possibly a Virgo or a Gemini is wanting to be seen here. I feel like someone's being punished or they got put in the naughty corner. And this might be you. This is making me laugh a little bit. I'm not sure how serious this is because it is being presented with the Ten of Cups, which is like, you know, kind of fairy tale ending, mushy gushy, you know, life is good again. And that may or may not be your vibe, right? But I almost get the idea that you may have put yourself in an awkward place or isolated yourself because you just said something that it rubbed someone the wrong way. The thing is, I feel like I would never tell you to bite your tongue or not tell the truth. You know, I would encourage you to be tactful, but again, you're Aquarius, like you tell it. And to a certain degree, I actually respect that. I as I grow older, I more admire people who just, you know, tell it like it is, even if it may offend people, because, you know, you're the revolutionaries. You're the initiator, the starter of kind of major changes on the human level, I guess. But I am sort of getting that you put yourself in a awkward position because this person's kind of annoyed by what you said. So I don't know, my gut reaction is that you may actually come back around and kind of realize that maybe what you said could have been done with a little more tact or a little bit more, I don't know, editing. You know, I'm not saying you should have to hold your tongue and not say what you're thinking or feeling, but yeah, with this person you may have to err with caution because maybe they are sensitive and take things to heart. You might be dealing with a Gemini with a lot of like Cancer placements or a Virgo. Maybe they have Scorpio placements, whatever the case may be. Oops. Yeah, I think you're going to fix this. This card comes up for you all the time, the Seven of Wands. It kind of like not leaning into that side of you that wants to be defensive or that feels the need or feels like you have to be right. As I'm hearing self-justified. I don't even know if that's a word, but I think you understand what I mean. I hate to be repetitive with the messages, but I do frequently see some of the same zodiac signs getting similar, if not identical messages. I don't know, follow the leader. I almost think there's a change or a switch of letting someone else lead for a change. And maybe you're in the opposite position. Maybe somebody said something to you that was really, I'm hearing a word, but it's not right. Not irreconcilable. I heard reputable, so maybe it had something to do with your reputation was put on the line, but something that you view as, basically what I'm trying to say is unapologetic, or I'm sorry, that's not even it either. I'm struggling to find the right word. It's like, this is how I read. It's like a feeling I get, and then I have to find the words that match the feeling. Someone said something to you that was just unacceptable. I guess that's the word I would use, but there's a better word for that. And I don't know why reputable came out. Anyway, doesn't really matter. Sorry, guys. Seven of Cups. Yeah, someone didn't take your feelings into consideration. Yeah, you may actually be feeling isolated or forgotten or not heard. Through no fault of your own. Maybe it wasn't you who told an uncomfortable truth. Maybe someone is just unaware of how their words or their actions made you feel. And I get the idea that you're sort of feeling left out. This also speaks to something about a parent dynamic too, especially with a masculine figure, but it doesn't have to be. The idea of, I don't know, I almost get the idea of someone who wants to like trip you out and, that's not the right word either. Someone uses you as like, oh, look at my daughter, my son, Aquarius, aren't they so great? And they have this job. But then when it comes to like the family hanging out, it's like they're, the perception, I'm not saying this is true, but there's a perception of then they're just over it. Like if there's no one else to impress and like pull you, the rabbit, out of the hat and be like, look how great they are, then it's like you get lost in the shuffle of the family. You feel like the ignored kid. I almost like, I say this with a wink, I don't mean to offend, but almost like that middle child syndrome. Like, well, I'm not the oldest and I'm not the youngest, so like I'm just this extra thing that they have to deal with. I don't think that's true, but I totally understand that's your perception. I just don't think this person realizes how their actions really have impacted you in terms of like your mental health. This might be something you've struggled with for a long time. And if it's not something with a family, it could be like your work family or some sort of group dynamic where you want the group to be happy, but I mean, this is such an Aquarian like visual to me. You want to be part of the group but have your own autonomy, right? You want to have your freedom and your independence but still feel like you're welcome. And for some reason in this group currently, those two don't exist. You feel isolated and you want to be included. A lot of sevens. You have 3 sevens. Sevens are all about assessment. So here's sort of what I'm getting from this too. If your gut reaction is to just run and be like, well, I don't need them anyway, but you're kind of like, I can say it, right? You guys appreciate my authenticity, my truthfulness. You're like kind of butthurt about it, but not wanting to admit it. It's just like, well, I didn't need them anyway. I'm just going to go. The Seven of Swords says that's not how you really feel. Seven of Swords, it's like the actions don't match the words or the thoughts don't match the actions. That's sort of how I tend to view the Seven of Swords. So yeah, it's like, I'm just going to pack up my shit and go because my family doesn't want to hang out with me anyway. You know that's not true. And also, you know that leaving, it's not helping the issue. If this was like oh my God, I feel suffocated, I just want to get out, I'm going to feel so much better, you know, then sure, maybe that is a healthy way of coping, but I almost think you're running from the issue at hand. I almost think you are enabling this dynamic to continue by more or less kind of leaning in or giving into this idea that you don't really belong, so you may as well separate yourself from the pack. In fact, I do sort of see that as maybe an unhealthy coping strategy. And please don't be offended by this. This is by no means trying to attack anyone out there. And again, take away these messages if they confirm things you're thinking or feeling. If this isn't your story, then, you know, by all means, check back next week, right? I think what the universe is saying is we kind of got to stick to it. And even though it's a little bit frustrating or uncomfortable, earth energy, it may move at a snail's pace. You may want to end up kind of trying to plant some seeds with this person so that something positive could grow out of it. The thing is, this card is actually a very positive Four of Pentacles. There's a big old smile on his face. And it actually sort of starts with the Three of Pentacles, right? The teamwork, the dynamic, you know, many hands make light work, if you will, right? Yeah, I don't know. I think there's something positive about this that you could take away. Yeah, fruits of your labor. If you put in a little bit of effort, and I mean, part of that effort might be kind of being blunt or real with this person. I think eventually you're going to get better results of this person trying to be more sensitive to your needs or more inclusive if you tend to be the one. The thing is, I'm so annoyed because I'm not being eloquent in this reading. I apologize for that, but if you're still with me, I appreciate you guys. I'm wanting to say it's two. It's like this tug of war. There's a duality here because I actually kind of relate to this. I don't really have a lot of Aquarius placements, but this idea that if you keep running and being like, well, they don't want me there, they don't need me, it's actually informing this person that you don't want to be there and you don't want to be part of the clan or the pack. So it's actually very interesting because the way you choose to deal with this is reinforcing the exact thing you don't want. Boom! There, I said it. Okay, that came out rather succinct. I'm happy with that statement. And however this resonates for you, you know, I might not be spot on with the details of who this is with, but more or less, some sort of habit or behavior that is an unhealthy coping mechanism. It's just reinforcing the patterns and the way it's always been. Something about the legacy or the history, the consistency of how this relationship has been in your life, and as frequently is the case in tarot, this relationship may be playing itself over in multiple areas of your life. So again, if this mirrors something with a father figure or a mother figure or a grandfather, it might be resonating in your dating life, or it may actually transpire in your own family with your own children. And it does have to do with this tug of war, almost like an internal tug of war. Again, like your mind and your actions are sort of contradictory right now, because you want to be part of the group, but you want autonomy, you want independence. But then when you're not like invited, or you feel rejected, rather than joining and like explaining, no, I want this, but I need that, or just explaining your position in any way that I think might help make this person aware of where you're at, you run from it. And again, I'm not saying you owe anyone an explanation. If you're happy and you're content doing your thing, and no one's coming to you with this, hey, or, do we have a problem? Do what you want to do. But the thing is, I sense that, again, there's such a feeling of isolation here that you're not happy with how this is working. So what you gonna do about it, Aquarius? How you gonna fix it? You need to be solution oriented, because this storyline of I'm just gonna run, I'm just gonna flee, this is too, it's almost like you might be writing this off as this person's never gonna change, they're too difficult, they're very condescending, my blood boils when I'm around them, so it's just easier for me to leave. But, okay, if this is a relationship or a family dynamic where you do choose or want or desire to see them every now and then, it might not be every day, or if this is like a work dynamic where you have no choice but to work with these people, highly, highly recommend that you act in a different way. Or you choose the higher road, or really choose to express yourself. That's one of your gifts as an Aquarius, right? You do have an innate gift for bringing groups of people together. What you have to balance with that is the whole, I want to be independent, I want to, I want to help the group, but then when I want to go off and do what I do, that's how it is. And I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm saying there needs to be more flexibility in this dynamic. Anyway, who's rambling? I am. You guys get it. A lot of sevens, a lot of assessment. And so just so you know, I don't think this is just on your end. Whoever or whatever you are dealing with, there's an equal amount of like head scratching going on. Like, oh, like I thought they wanted to be here, but they kind of act like they don't like me when they're here. Or when I say this, and in my head, I'm giving them all these, all this praise and congratulations. You're like, well, they're only doing it because, the cousins and the aunts and uncles are there and they want to impress them. And like, these two people are not on the same page. And really it is like, Cool Hand Luke. What we have here is a failure to communicate. There's a lot going unsaid, and whoever's tactic it is to, I'm just going to run because I don't want to deal with this, or I need to leave because this person is triggering me. I'm not saying you can't do that, but again, I'm going to repeat myself one more time. If this is a relationship that you keep meeting up with in your life through exes, through partners, through family dynamics, through coworkers, universe is ultimately saying you're not doing it right. You need to go back and replant the seeds properly so you can grow from this issue and not always feel like you're constantly running. Yeah. Okay. How am I doing for time? Oh my God, 13 minutes. All right. Do I need to clarify anything else with this? No, I feel like we get it. I feel like you guys are good there. And if you're not, book a personal reading. We can go over it more in detail, and you can share with me what's most important to you about that narrative. Book a personal. I would love to read for you guys. There's information about how to do that in the description box below. You can check out my Etsy. There's a link to my Etsy in the comment box below, as well as my email. You can email me and we can figure out what you need. New story. There's your Capricorn. I knew that wasn't for nothing. A conversation needs to be had with the Capricorn. You may be worried about this Capricorn's habits, especially if there's an addiction issue. I said something about an illness earlier, and I don't do fear-based readings, right? I don't predict scary shit. That's just simply not what I'm asked to relay from whoever helps me do these, my own spirit guides, right? So I hate for that to sound like a cop-out, but what good does it do for me to be like, oh my God, something scary is up ahead? I don't even read into the tarot like that. Some people do, but I just want you guys to know it does come from a place of authenticity, not like, oh, I'm going to hide it from you. That being said, when I see a message that I can sort of relay and have it not be like the monster, there's something with a Capricorn where I think you're worried about, it could even be something like an eating disorder or a substance abuse issue. It could be illness in that sense. Or someone who's just running themselves ragged, right? It could be someone who's just a workaholic and they forget to eat lunch or dinner, or whatever, maybe they're gaining weight rapidly and they're not working out and they're eating junk food. It's something like that. It could just be like an unhealthy pattern they've developed, and I feel like you guys need to have a conversation. Yeah, if anything, it could turn into, I'm almost getting like sloth, or like a lack of exercise, poor diet, and their energy level is just way down, and yet they're trying to save the world. The Empress is a great money card, it's a great career card, but she looks burnt out. And if this isn't a Capricorn, I mean, is this you, Aquarius, right? The temptation to always do more, to have more, to put more hours in, put more energy in, get more money, take that extra sale, take that extra client on. At some point, it's going to take a toll on your body. So again, just friendly reminder, be good to yourself, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. Your body is your temple. All those things I could say to you. Yeah, it's a good time to hit reset. Some of you may just need to take a break. You may need to take a little vacation, a personal day, whatever that means to you. I see you guys being able to heal yourself through some sort of form of art or creativity. Whatever that is for you, that could be literally painting a mural, that could be, whatever. It could just be spending time in nature, right? Appreciating the beauty of the world around you. For some of you, it has to do with like sewing work or needlepoint or something with like fabric and needles and thread, or I don't know, making costumes. I don't know what that is, but it might just be some kind of a passive thing you can do while you're watching TV or whatever it is that you do. And again, if you relate to the message about poor diet, poor exercise, or whatever, poor lifestyle, I'm not sure what this even means, but something active that is creative also. I'm sure you guys have some examples of that in your own life. I'm struggling to come up with one, but I don't know what that is. The Emperor. Ten of Pentacles. I like that. Some of you need to take a sabbatical, or you've been considering doing it, and I think if that makes sense, if that resonates, I feel like the universe is like, yes, that would be a very, very good idea for you. There's that, streak of Aquarian independence, right? You're still part of the group, but you're taking some time to yourself. That's a very healthy manifestation of that kind of energy we were talking about earlier. You guys may have inherited a family business or trying to grow from a platform of money or foundation that your family had provided you. But a lot of you have come to realize that it has strings attached. It's almost like by taking on the family business, even if you're the owner or you're the manager or whatever, the supervisor, there's still like this very firm hand of, well, it has to be done this way. And I think a lot of you are sort of screaming on the inside, like, at what point does this become mine? Like, it's almost, some of you feel like you were not tricked into it, but more or less you had this vision or this idea of, if I were to take on this role, this responsibility, even with, maybe it's a friend, right? If I were to merge companies with them, there's a lot of strings attached, and it feels very oppressive. It feels very heavy. So some of you may choose to exit or again, have that really formal conversation of like, the Emperor and the Empress are equal players, right? There is no one above the other. This is a team dynamic, right? They hold essentially the same ranking or the same position, even though their titles might be ever so slightly different. I don't know. I feel like it's almost like they're pushing you down, or when you advocate for yourself or your ideas, you're not heard, and like that's not going to fly anymore. So a lot of you may choose to channel maybe some more masculine energy and step forward. And I use this term very lightly, so just kind of process this and see if it resonates, but almost like go to battle or go to war with this. Some of you may get yourself into some sort of a court case or legal battle to fight for what is yours. And some of you could choose to do that, and some of you will choose not to simply because it feels like a waste of your time or you don't want to. I don't know. I'm trying to see what to advise you to do. And I mean, go with your gut instinct. I do see something about like a legal matter or a court case or needing to fight for something. And it does have to do with unhealthy power dynamics. Again, something you guys get in your readings all the time. I don't really know any Aquarians going through that, so I hope it makes sense to some of you out there. Yeah, I don't know, with the Devil, the Emperor, the King of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles, there's definitely inequality of power or money going on here. People kind of leaning into the darker, kind of greedy shadow side energies of the Devil. For some of you, it could just simply be a Capricorn, and that in itself is not a bad thing, but it might be someone who's kind of again, leaning into those more negative qualities of I have to be the top man on the totem pole, and I have it all, and the trickle down effect for what's left of the money to my employees or my coworkers. But yeah, I don't know, you seem to be switching it up, and you may have had some sort of experience like that in your past. I don't know if you're part of the corporate world. You may choose to initiate some sort of action plan that has this very unique, futuristic, diverse sort of credo or ethical code of how you're going to run your company. And the thing is, for some of you, you don't even want to ascend to the top. There's almost like this beautiful Leo energy of you're allowing sort of everyone to sort of orbit around you or float around you, but you're okay giving up the title or the head honcho position to someone who rules with fairness, someone who will go to war, go to battle for the company, but it's almost for the rights and for the equality, for the fairness of everyone else involved. Yes, some of you are sitting on a lump sum of money, or you're going to be. I don't know what that has to do with. It might be some sort of inheritance. And you may actually use it to go into business for yourself, but again, you're bringing people on board that your minds are aligned. You have similar ethics and mottos and credos of how you're going to do this. And it might be something tremendously creative or artistic, maybe spiritual, I'm not sure. You may bring some family members on to help run this business too. But I would caution you away from doing it simply because they're family, because you feel like because you feel like you owe them that. Because it can get rather messy. And again, I don't have to tell you that based on our first reading. Sometimes it's good to separate, business versus like family life. But yeah, I don't know. There is some sort of narrative here with the mother or the father. It could be that you go into business with your mother, you go into business with your father. Maybe it's your fire sign brother or sister. There is something about building upon the family legacy, rewriting the story. I don't know what that is, you guys. I don't know. Final thoughts and messages for this. What can I tell Aquarius? Yeah, let's do one of these oracle cards. I hope this made sense to some of you out there. I don't want to leave you hanging on the legal thing, actually. One card on the whole legal or law thing. Someone is thirsty for blood, or I don't know. There is a lot of conflict for some of you involving a legal case. People are just really going at each other's throats, sort of, is what I'm getting. The legal thing, is there anything I need to tell Aquarius about a legal? Okay, thank you. Page of Swords, do your research first. Make sure you get your facts straight and your facts together. It's wonderful if you have confidence in your speaking abilities, but make sure you don't rest on that thinking, oh, I can talk my way out of it, or, I know the general facts. This is like a student card or a child. There's something sort of immature about the thoughts or the knowledge, and that doesn't mean bad. It just means there's a lot more to know about this. So it might be just simply that, you don't know all the information yet. So I would say don't jump to any conclusions. Be curious, seek, explore, read up on things, ask people who have been through something similar. There's a need to get your facts and figures together before you charge in and go to battle, if you were dealing with anything legal. This could also represent a minor infraction with the law, quite literally. It could even be your kid, right? Your kid may get written up for something, again, relatively minor with the Page of Swords. Nothing that's going to sort of impact them in the long term, or I probably would not even go on their permanent record. It could have been an infraction at school or something like that, Anyway, all right. Anything else I can tell Aquarius about this message? What about this devil thing? Yeah, someone's using their powers for bad reasons. And interestingly enough, that whole storyline of someone being ill or sick, this person may actually be battling an illness. And it's very interesting. It's almost like the internal energies are creating this outward narrative of sort of darkness or feeling eaten away at. So this is a very deep, heavy message, but it's kind of very interesting to me, so I am going to share it. This idea, if this person is struggling with some sort of chronic illness and something is maybe diminishing something in their body or really kind of not eating away, that sounds so severe, but you understand what I mean. There's something negative inside of them in the form of a disease. It's almost like this outward projection of feeling like the world is eating away at them. And so that's why they're going to battle too. Part of this has, nothing to do with you or anyone else. It's like this internal battle for this person is being manifested on the outside of their life. And so, yeah, they're really quick to assume that the world is after them and that they carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. But again, like, I don't know if this is going to resonate for all of you, but part of me, like, this person has my sympathies because they're fighting a battle internally and externally, and probably a very isolating person, probably a person who has trouble relating. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot you don't know about this too, so err with caution. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to do with that, but there's something kind of mysterious that we don't know all the pieces and parts yet. So anyway, yeah, something is out of whack in their body. This might just surprise you. You may end up being the initiator of some sort of bond or connection with this person. And I know some of you are watching this going, abso-effing-lutely not. Like, I would never. You would be surprised. Something in this might change by learning something about this person or having them express something rather private or delicate to you about their own personal life. It might change. Yeah, wow, what an interesting dynamic this is. I'm glad I asked. Might change the storyline ever so slightly, or some sort of information that you learn where you choose to go about this in a much different way. It's almost like you end up going to war or battle for them because you may inherit their company or you may inherit their job title because this person simply can't show up and do it. But if you become some sort of leader or supervisor or taking some sort of control over whatever this is, you're going to do it in a delicate way that doesn't isolate people. Again, this idea of you may step in and all of a sudden, like, almost like sun energy, like all the planets want the warmth. They want to rotate around you and orbit around you and serve you and the company. And there's mutual appreciation. Really beautiful for the fixed sign, Aquarius, especially those with strong Leo in their chart. You may have a moon in Leo or something. You may end up taking this very important role where you're in center stage, and all these people, there's tremendous amount of loyalty because they really respect your authority and the way you're bringing people together. Because before, for better or worse of this person, like, it was done in a way that didn't meet the group's needs and the group's standards. You're changing the game. And so that's what I mean. Even if it's not like a family mommy daddy issue, it's something about building on the family dynamic and changing it for the better. Picking and choosing your battles and going to war for the ones that are really worth fighting for. There was definitely like a warring conflict energy. This may have involved an Aries in some capacity or a Scorpio. Doesn't have to. Very much Aries vibes though here. Where, yeah, it's like they were choosing to get all bent out of shape for completely the wrong reasons. It's like their focus was being put into matters that just, they were rather immature. They weren't the most important things. You're bringing new time and attention, new energy, new light to the important issues. And I think it's going to be transformative. I think it's really going to change how this dynamic works for the better. And even if it doesn't involve strengthening the bond with this person, though I would argue it probably does, you're strengthening the bonds of like the group at large. Very cool. And listen. That's always a very, very important message for all my air signs, right? For all the zodiac signs. Aquarius, that's what I got for you. This one was all over the place, but I do hope that it served some of you. I hope you can walk away with pieces and parts of this that did resonate. And again, some food for thought too is always good. Thanks for joining me here today. Please remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, book a personal reading if you so desire. Other than that, I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye, Aquarius.